You're listening to A Mighty Fortress, celebrating 500 years of Lutheranism.
A mighty fortress it is our God, a trusty shield and weapon.
Hello and welcome to A Mighty Fortress. I'm your host, Jake Zabel. Welcome to another episode of SemRadio Archives, where we listen to the best of SemRadio. Hope you enjoy it.
SemRadio.
How many books on your seminarian shelf before you can call him a pastor? Is it a Bible or a book of Concord that makes him that much smarter? The answer, my friend, is sitting on the shelf. What's on your seminarian's bookshelf?
That was a brilliant song, even if I do say so myself.
Yeah, I know. Who was that singing? He sounded pretty good.
Oh, I don't know. The voice of an angel, I would say. The next Pavarotti, perhaps.
Okay, so this game works simply by... I've got a bookshelf here in my room with all my seminary theology books, some textbooks, some just picked up at random. And I'm going to go over and grab one, and Hayden's going to direct me to which one he reckons I should grab at random, and then we're going to see what it is and discuss it.
Now we'll look on the bottom shelf. Okay, now go 3 to the right, 3 more to the right, 3 more to the right, 3 more to the right, and we're there.
Okay, so we're going to take this book.
Looky what we have
Oh,
here.
this is quite a good book, actually. It's written by Ken Ham. He's a pretty good fella.
He's not a pig, that's for sure.
According to Jesus, studying how God takes care of animals tells us quite a bit about how he takes care of us. The Lord faithfully supplies their needs, even in a sin-cursed world. He knows how to handle our problems as well.
We can trust God to care for us. You'll learn more about God's hand in creation when you visit our faith-building website, answersingenesis.org. That's answersingenesis.org.
So Ken Ham's a pretty good thing. He's actually originally from Brisbane, and then he went over to be a theologian in America, where he started the Creation Museum, and he talks for like creation science.
Yeah, recently had a debate with Bill Nye the Science Guy.
And
Yeah.
also they've recently finally got funding to create their theme park, a life-size ark, where they're going to have a full...
Which is going to be awesome, may
Awesome.
I say.
I'd like to go. So the book I got here from Ken Ham is one of his famous ones, called The Lie, Evolution. It's a brilliant book, I'd have to say myself. I haven't actually read it for a few years, but I read it through high school when, you know, you're a teenager, peer pressure to obey the rules of science and reject Christianity, and you know, you got all your mates at school around you who aren't Christian, and they're just like, you know, going on it for you. Why aren't you Christian? Why are you so stupid that you believe in a God? With everyone, I, you know, struggle with like most people at that time. Oh, is God real? Is evolution real? Oh, I've got all these questions. And Ken Ham's The Lie Evolution was quite good. He talks all about how evolution is a lie, and he targets the fact of these Christians these days that they believe that they can be, you know, I think they're the liberal Christians, where they think, oh yeah, I believe the Bible, but Genesis is only myth. See, the creation didn't happen, it was all evolution, that's all metaphorical language. What do you think about that, Hayden?
Well, I don't agree with that, personally. I think it's a bit weak, a bit watered down.
Yeah, and the main theme that Ken Ham brings up here is Genesis is the foundation, and if you have a weak foundation, you'll fall. As Jesus always said, the man who built his house on the solid rock, his house stood. But the man who built his house on the sand got washed away. And if you build the Christian doctrine on the sand of evolution, the church is just going to collapse. It's going to come down.
Yeah. You have to
take the Bible for what it does say, not what you're trying to make it say.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And I hear these ones that try to preach this stuff. They take Genesis 1:1 that says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth," and they say, "Oh yeah, that doesn't necessarily say how He did it. So you can still believe that God created the heavens and the earth without having to believe in the 6-day creation." And my thought of that is, well, yeah, you can believe that as long as you skip everything from Genesis 1:2 up until chapter 9 when Abraham comes around.
I think this episode of What's on Your Seminarian's Bookshelf is turning into Great Gripes at the moment, but that's all right.
Uh,
Time for another segment now.
Say what?
Yeah, exactly.
Say what? Whoa. Revelations 8:13. We have another segment.
Yes, we do. Say what? The favourite saying game here at SemRadio.
Oh, this show's getting out of control.
Say what is a game, a segment where we take everyday sayings from modern English and check out where they come from in the Bible, and then Jake will try to guess where they come from exactly in the Bible.
Yeah,
So
because there's a lot of sayings these days, so people don't actually realise they're from the Bible.
yeah, that's
It's quite sad, actually.
yeah.
Open a book once in your life.
It's quite interesting, some of the stuff that comes from the Bible that a lot of people don't even realise. So the phrase "a broken heart" comes from the Bible. Where do you think that might be, Jake?
What did I say? Proverbs. Is it in Proverbs?
Oh no, you're very close.
Psalms?
Yes, it's
Ooh.
in Psalms. It first appears in... Okay, a broken heart comes from Psalm 34, verse 18, where it says, "The Lord is near to those who have a broken heart, and saves such as have a contrite spirit."
Yeah, the
Such as
Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. So do you want to actually discuss what that verse means? Or what the biblical implications of that verse means?
Well, it's from David, a psalm from David when he pretended madness before Abimelech, who drove him away and he departed. So he's in some pretty dire straits here, but he's saying that even though he's going through a really rough time, God is close to those who are down in the dumps, have a broken heart, and he takes joy in that, pretty much.
Okay, so the biblical broken heart, because it goes hand in hand there with the contrite or crushed spirit.
Yeah,
So we're looking more at like broken-hearted in the Bible sense, referring to just pretty much those who are depressed and suffering.
yeah.
Not really.
It's not. It doesn't necessarily have to be
a relationship
Yeah,
like it is these days.
yeah.
Okay.
So
So
that's
we'll
interesting stuff.
move to the next one then. Ooh.
Okay. A law unto themselves.
Oh,
Where do you think that comes from?
that's in one of the Paul's letters, I reckon.
It is. It is
Yeah.
one of the Paul's letters.
Is he talking about the Cretans in that part?
I don't think he's talking about the Cretans here.
Might be the Gentiles. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's the Gentiles.
because I know Paul does
Yeah,
bag
it's
out
the Gentiles.
because Paul does bag out the Cretans in one of his things, which is where we get this modern idea that Cretans are, like these lowly creatures. It's because the people of Crete were such, I don't know, sinful, deranged, savage people at that point in time.
Yeah.
That's another say what for you, Hayden.
Say what?
Taking over your segment. So,
He's talking about the Gentiles here.
yeah, no, that could be like any one of Paul's books. Is it in one of the Corinthians?
No, it's not. It's from Romans,
Oh, that would have been my next.
chapter 2,
Chapter 2. Oh, that's
verse
pretty close.
14. It says, "For when Gentiles who do not have the law by nature do the things in the law, these, although not having the law, are a law to themselves."
So before Moses came, we still got the whole book of Genesis, everything from like Adam to Joseph, where there's actually no law given to them, no commandments that they obey by. But yet, there's this natural law that they know things like murder and adultery. There's things that people just instinctively know that are wrong and sinful.
Yeah, I think that's what it is here. They've never been told to follow the law, but they do it anyway because they know what's right and wrong.
Yeah.
And
It's basic
so
human nature.
yeah, that's a very different way to how we use that saying these days. A law unto themselves means you're running wild
Yeah,
or
you
something.
like
But
take the law into your own hands,
Yeah.
kinda.
but this is actually a good thing.
Yeah.
Being a law to themselves.
Yeah, because it's having a natural law of
Yeah.
right and wrong without God actually telling you.
Okay. I think you'll probably get this one.
Ooh, good.
I don't want to put you under too much pressure there, but
Gotta use my seminarian powers here.
he who lives by the sword dies by the sword.
Oh, that's annoying though, because I know it's in one of the Gospels. I want to say Matthew.
Yes, you're correct.
Yes!
Matthew 26:52.
So it's
But Jesus said to him, "Put your sword in its place, for all who take the sword will perish by the sword." Pretty much used in the same way today.
Yeah, there's just
Yeah.
those who strike and fight are gonna die. Those who go to war will die by war.
Mm.
It's pretty self-explanatory. Do you want to move on to another one?
Yeah, I've got another saying lined up for you here.
Ooh.
Okay. A sign of the times. A sign of the times.
That's in one of the Gospels.
It is.
So, ooh, is it back in Matthew again?
Yes, it's in Matthew again.
You're trying to trick me there
I
by
tried
having
to trick you.
two Matthews.
Matthew 16 verse 3. And in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and threatening. Hypocrites, you know not how to discern the face of the sky, but you cannot discern the signs of the times.
Okay, so
It's when
what's it
Jesus is talking
I'll look
to
it up.
the Pharisees and Sadducees. They're looking for a sign, but they can't see the signs that are right in front of them. Or
Okay.
they will deny the signs when they
Yeah, they're rejecting the true Messiah. They can't realize it when it's right in
Yeah.
front of their face. So what's it actually mean? Signs of the time. What's it mean in the modern context?
when something happens that is typical of the time that we live in. That's a real sign of the times.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a similar way as Jesus
Well,
uses it,
kinda.
kind of, but
Well,
it's
Jesus.
used in a more general sense today.
Yeah. Well, Jesus is kind of saying to you, you're not witnessing what's happening right in front of you.
Okay. The saying "see eye to eye."
Is it in the old?
It's in the Old Testament. It says, "For we shall see eye to eye."
Okay. Well, let's give me a hint. It is in the.
Or for they shall see eye to eye.
Okay. So give me a hint. It is in the historical, prophetic, or poetic books.
Prophetic.
Okay, so it's anywhere from Isaiah to Malachi. That doesn't narrow it down any better. Is it one of the major or minor prophets?
Major.
Uh,
You're just narrowing yourself down.
I'm just trying to narrow it down.
Yeah.
I want to say Daniel, maybe?
It's Isaiah. Isaiah 52 verse 8. Your watchmen shall lift up their voices. With their voices they shall sing together, for they shall see eye to eye, when the Lord brings back Zion. So,
Okay, that's interesting.
yeah.
I'm just, well, because you're reading the New King James Version there. I've got the NIV here, New International Version, for those who don't know. And my one just says, when the Lord returns to Zion, they will see it with their own eyes. Which,
That's
a
very different.
Yeah, very different concept. In my version, it's, if you see it with your own eyes, it's going, okay, I'm witnessing it. Seeing eye to eye is
So
in the term of agreement.
I wonder what the original Hebrew says here. Maybe see eye to eye meant something different in this context. I'm not too sure that it's used in the same way that we use see eye to eye, like to get along with someone.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a good one. By the skin of your teeth.
Is that Job?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Ah, good one, Jake. Job 19:20.
Oh, that's good. That's very close to Job 19:25. For I know my Redeemer lives, and at the end he shall stand upon the earth.
Okay, Job 19 verse 20. My bone clings to my skin and to my flesh, and I have escaped by the skin of my teeth.
Okay. So what's that mean pretty much in the modern concept? You're like,
It means you've just scraped through. You've only just like you in your exams. You only just get through by the skin of your teeth. I think this means the same thing.
my one starts the paragraph from verse 13. Why don't you start reading from there and read in the context?
He has removed my brothers far from me, and my acquaintances are completely estranged from me. My relatives have failed, and my close friends have forgotten me. Those who dwell in my house and my maidservants count me as a stranger. I am an alien in their sight. I call my servant, but he gives no answer. I beg him with my mouth. My breath is offensive to my wife, and I am repulsive to the children of my own body. Even young children despise me. I arise, and they speak against me. All my close friends abhor me, and those whom I love have turned against me. My bone clings to my skin and to my flesh, and I have escaped by the skin of my teeth.
He's surviving just
By the bare minimum.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then like the verse goes on there to say, to have pity on me, my friends have pity on me. So he's Job's in a pretty bad place at that point
Yeah, well, he was for a lot of
for the lot of the book.
yeah. Now it's time for another brand new segment, the pickup truck.
There's a Christian pickup truck. That ought to get y'all the women.
In this segment, we read out some Christian pickup lines,
For all you single fellas out there to use.
and our very special guest, Sophie, will say if they work or if they don't. They probably won't.
Hi guys, I'm very interested to see what you have for me today.
Can't believe we got a real woman.
Okay, do you want to start us off, Jake?
Okay, so the first pickup line is, if I walked around you 7 times, would you fall for me?
Oh, well that's a oldie but a goodie. That one's one of my favourites. I think that one would actually work. That gets my tick of approval.
Okay.
Ding! Now I know why Solomon had 700 wives, because he never met you.
Nah, this one, no way. I don't think that polygamy can ever be justified, even when you use something that's trying to be romantic.
That's good theology there. You just got theologian, Hayden.
I know.
Ooh. So last night I was reading the Book of Numbers and I realised I don't have yours. Oh, wink.
A wink.
I had someone tell this one to me at Beach Mission this year, and I thought it was so hilarious. I went around telling everyone, and yeah, it definitely works on me.
You are perfect. You know, except for all the sin.
Way to bring a girl down. I do not like this one. I don't want to be reminded I'm not perfect.
The next one. When I read Philippians 4:8, I think of you. It says, finally, brethren, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things.
Aww, that's so cute.
So, did we get a tick there?
Jake wins again.
Yes! Another victory to Jake.
Got the worst one again.
Set this up deliberately.
Do you need prayer? Because I'm certainly willing to lay my hands on you.
Sleazy Christians, bow bow. Everyone hates those sleazy guys that come into church looking to pick up a woman, and that's what that pickup line reminds me of.
And now you've got another good one.
Is it the transfiguration? Because you're glowing.
That one's okay. I'm going to give that one half a tick. It may work depending on how you do it. Your presentation was a bit sloppy.
Theology.
As the Bible says, thou shalt not horn in on thy husband's racket. Where does the Bible say racket? It's in there.
When we're going to take a look at the Simpsons episode, Bart sells his soul, which is where Bart sells his soul to Milhouse. So since we already looked at the concept of selling your soul on the first episode, when we looked at Homer selling his soul for a donor, we're actually going to look at a different part of this episode for this segment this week.
And this is what leads to Bart selling his soul. He doesn't think he has a soul.
How can someone with glasses that thick be so stupid? Listen, you don't have a soul. I don't have a soul. There's no such thing as a soul. Fine. If you're so sure about that, why don't you sell your soul to me?
Okay, so Bart there believes that he doesn't have a soul, and that's why he's so keen to sell it to Milhouse and make a bit of cash. So if you don't believe in a soul, that means pretty much you don't believe that you exist. Which, yeah, so he's saying he doesn't believe that he has a spirit within him.
Which means that
He doesn't believe that there is an afterlife, or that anything happens after you die.
which is a real atheist view of the world. You know, you live, you die, your dead body gets put in the ground, and that's it. And everybody moves on, which is quite sad, really.
Yes, and yeah, it takes a lot of the purpose out of life. Of course, that's not why we believe, but it's very helpful. Like, the atheist view has nothing to offer.
Yeah, it's very depressing, and really the atheist view really gives you nothing to live for.
Mm.
The whole YOLO thing these days in society of you only live once.
YOLO. What a load of nonsense.
What'd you say the Christian version of that is?
YOLF. You only live forever.
Yep, the Christian one. Because when you die, if you believe in Jesus, you will get eternal life with him in heaven.
And that's going to be the most glorious day in heaven.
In heaven. In time.
In time.
Yeah. So, that was a nice, short, sweet Simpsons theology there.
Yes. According to Milhouse, the soul has wheels so it can drive to the cemetery if you die far away.
It also can breathe underwater in case you die underwater. It has to swim to the cemetery. Which also brings up an interesting point that Milhouse's idea is you have to get to the cemetery so that your spirit can then go up to heaven. You can't just die anywhere and let it go straight to heaven.
It's quite funny, really.
Well, if your soul's real, where is it? It's right in here. And when you sneeze, that's your soul trying to escape. See, God bless you, crams it back in. And when you die, it squirms out and flies away. What if you die in a submarine at the bottom of the ocean? Oh, it can swim. It's even got wheels in case you die in the desert and have to drive to the cemetery.
Milhouse theology of the soul there.
The Van Houten theology.
Hey Hayden, you know what day it is?
What day is it, Jake?
Agnes Day.
No. So now Jake's got some rubbish segment. I don't know about this one, to be honest with you. It sounds a bit rubbish.
It's a great segment. Reading comics on radio is a brilliant idea.
What comic are you reading?
There's this guy in America, Pastor James Wetstein. He's a Lutheran pastor. He
Oh,
writes
really? With a name like that?
he writes this thing called Agnes Day Comics, which is it's a lectionary comic strip. So he goes through and does a little comic for the Bible verses for each week.
Okay.
I think everyone will love it. So this one is for today, the whatever Sunday and like we are this week. The reading for today is John 4, verses 5 to 42, where Jesus talks to this Samaritan woman at the well and tells her about drink of the water of life.
All right.
You know the one, don't you?
I know the one.
Okay. So with Agnes
Day.
With Agnes Day, there's these two sheep. There's Rick, who's got a big dark nose, and then there's Ted, Ted's the funnier sheep. He's a bit of a hooligan. Why Rick is the smart one.
There are no smart sheep. Trust me.
I don't know. Rick seems to always be drinking a cup of coffee. So as you know, he's smart.
Okay, sounds like a real sheep to me then.
So this one is a 3-panel Agnus Dei.
You seem a bit sheepish about this comic strip, Jake.
But in the first panel, we got Rick standing there drinking a cup of coffee, as he always does. That's just his character. And then good old Ted, he's reading the Bible. Well, it's just a book. I'm assuming it's a Bible because he's quoting a Bible verse. And Ted says to Rick, "Give me a drink of water." This conversation starts out weird and gets weirder. So then Rick, in the next panel, having to theologically correct him, theologian, says, "No, it's cool. See, Yahweh is often described as romancing Israel, and both Isaac and Moses met their wives at wells. So the scene identifies Jesus as the one who pursues God's people as Yahweh did, except that the woman is an outsider and far from perfect. She's all of us, is what he's describing. And then, so here's the punchline, because old funny Ted, that shit. I always have to, that joker after his shenanigans. He goes, "Well, you can tell that he's divine," referring to Jesus. What a pickup line! We've got a pickup line with a pickup line like that. I wouldn't have even gotten a phone number. Get it? He's yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm not having a bar of this.
Get it? Because
there's no pulling the wool over my eyes. This is a terrible comic. Now we're going to bring back another of my favourite segments. Say what?
Say what?
In this segment, I have many common English sayings that are used in everyday language that come from the Bible, and Jake here is going to guess where they come from. Okay, so the first saying I have for you, Jake, is a fly in the ointment.
So, what is it? Fly in the ointment?
Yes.
Proverbs?
No, it's not from Proverbs.
Is it in one of the poetic books?
Yeah.
It's probably not Psalms. It's not Job. It's probably not Songs. Ecclesiastes?
Yes, it's from Ecclesiastes.
Yes! Narrowed it down. Seminarians rule.
It comes from Ecclesiastes 10, verse 1, where it says, "Dead flies putrefy the perfumer's ointment, and cause it to give off a foul odour. So does a little folly to one respected for wisdom and honour." So, I think it's kind of used in the same way today. Like, a little bit of bad stuff can ruin the whole thing of what's good. So a little bit of folly can ruin someone's wisdom and honour. Okay, Jake. The second saying is a wolf in sheep's clothing.
I know it's in one of the Gospels.
Yes, it is.
I want to say Matthew.
You'd be correct.
I was right?
Yes.
Oh, good on you, Matthew.
It's in Matthew chapter 7, verse 15. It says, "Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves."
In that context there, it's talking about,
False prophets.
It's literally,
false teachers.
Yeah, so coming in the disguise of
True teachers.
True teachers. It's like all these evangelist ones that go around all America and Australia these days that claim to we're the true church, and yet...
And everyone else is wrong.
Yeah. Is it the same in today's society? Like, if you look at it in the biblical way, it wouldn't be the same thing, but I think we use that more just generic sense these days.
Well, yeah, it means the same thing. Someone who's deceptive.
Yeah.
That looks holy or looks righteous when really they're not. So.
And so, how many people would actually know that that's one's from the Bible?
Not many.
Yeah, that's
not many at all.
That's the point of this segment here.
Yeah.
Just so you listeners out there know that so many of your favourite English sayings come from the Bible.